I see why. Bear with me a sec. Okay, so you'll hear me now. Neat. Also, why is this? Uh, roll back a bit higher. I went to the trouble of making this nice new scene as well, featuring not Ada Wong above. Alright, let me. There is no way I can lose. This was Ninja's fault. You should all blame him for this. My camera seems jittery. Alright, that's better, and the lighting on it is better as well. Your intro was there, Teak. That's why I sang along to it. Oh, it's because this thing. Bear with me a second. Always be suspicious. This goddamn scene. Um, that, thing down a little bit. Play those songs. Oh, it is Teak. We have our own styles that we won't change. Yours are filled with evil and mine's not. There is no way I can lose. And Ninja. Alright, there we go. So, Resident Evil Dead Aim. That was Take On Me by Aha. It's a fun little joke I have. We have the two sound alerts. And then we have it's funny to me, and that's why it's there. So everybody, Teak, me, Ninja, Manda, welcome. Resident Evil Dead Aim. Released in 2003, I think. When was this? I have it before Outbreak for a reason. Resident Evil Dead Aim, February 13th, 2003. Professionalism. Written by Noboru Sugimura. Was this his last Resident Evil game before he died? Died in 2005. Yeah, because Sugimura's name you'll find on RE2, on Code Veronica. His death is the reason Capcom gave for not actually having a proper representation of the downfall of Umbrella. What do we got? Yeah, because the writing for RE1 wasn't considered great, and then 1.5 went very poorly. So Capcom brought in a company specifically for the sake of writing Resident Evil. That was Flagship. Initially consulted on a trial basis, ended up writing the complete story for the game, and together with Yoshiki Okamoto and two others, founded the now defunct Capcom Writer Studio Flagship in April '97, which would work on other Capcom titles such as Clock Tower 3, Dino Crisis 2, Downstalker, Dino Crisis 3, and the first three main installments of Onimusha. Sugimura also created a draft script for Haunting Ground, which was a revised edition of a Resident Evil 4 script that had been rejected. This modified script was then transformed into the draft Devil May Cry. I was not aware that Flagship was a sub-company of Capcom. But yeah, following his death, which it does, the Wikipedia page doesn't give any details about that. He just died. Um, Capcom gave that as the reason why they never like properly did a representation of the downfall of Umbrella. Supposedly, it was out of respect for Sugimura, and because it was his big idea he was working on. Uh, Died February 25th, 2005. No details on like how he actually died, which is surprising. Because we know stuff like Gunpei Yokoi died in a car accident. That's no, that was printed. Subdivision entirely dedicated to writing video game plots. To be fair, like you can argue that entire section of Capcom history had some of the best plots they ever made. Like RE2, Code Veronica, Onimusha 1, 2, and 3. Clock Tower 3 is insane, but it's engrossing. And no Capcom game has had anything as interesting since in terms of writing. Although the timeline of that is a little more interesting. I assumed he died pre RE4, but February 2005, unspecified heart condition. Thank you, Ninja. February 2005 is after RE4 launched. Which is interesting because I was under the impression that they said Umbrella was taken, like, killed by the stock market specifically to gloss over that because they didn't want to write the story without him. No, presumably, like they just wanted to get Resident Evil 4 done and do a new thing with it because Remake and Zero didn't sell. And they wanted to try something new, so I move forward, but then also have the option of going back. I don't know, it's a curious thing. Resident Evil Dead Aim. Fascinating game. This is one of three Resident Evil games set on a cruise ship. It's an idea that they had that they just would not let go of. Resident Evil Gaiden, this, and Revelations was finally an actually good game set on the cruise liner. The history of this is kind of fascinating. This idea, Resident Evil on a cruise liner, an Umbrella-owned cruise liner, was one of the original concepts. Whoever mechanic was going to get arrested, I couldn't do it within 3 weeks. Fair. This concept was originally going to be Hideki Kamiya's Resident Evil 3. I don't know why that didn't end up happening. Like, post RE2, the Resident Evil series went kind of all over the place in terms of what the next main game was going to be. RE3 was supposed to be a spin-off, was supposed to just be Biohazard Last Escape. From everything I'm aware of, Sony was very demanding that they get a Resident Evil 3. Originally, Code Veronica was supposed to be RE3, which is why Code Veronica actually kind of continues the plot from RE2, while RE3 doesn't. It's Jill's story of escaping the city, and that's fine because it's a pre-established character, but ultimately it didn't establish anything. Without RE3, we would have assumed Jill left Raccoon City with the rest of the STARS members, except Brad. Code Veronica, of course, and then after that, the ideas floated around. We all know the stories of how RE4 ended up happening. An idea that became Devil May Cry, the Hookman version, the Fog version, various different versions. But yeah, this was supposed to be Hideki Kamiya's Resident Evil 3. And Kamiya ended up being attached to Devil May Cry, one of the scrap concepts of RE4, and went on to have a long and illustrious career of never doing Resident Evil again, and doing far more interesting things, such as Beautiful Joe, Okami, moving into Bayonetta, so on and so forth. But yeah, for some reason, Capcom turned around and pulled out Resident Evil Dead Aim. Like, oh, the ship idea, cool. And you'll be able to see in this that there are leftover ideas of this being a sequel to RE2. In particular, with the two main characters, Bruce McGivern. I always want to call him Bruce Irving, but that's the guy from... That's one of the Tekken characters. Bruce McGivern and Fong Ling, who are very transparently supposed to be Leon and Ada. So, let's get started. This game is short enough that I expect to do it in one session. I'm going to play this on easy because I'm not in the mood for messing around. Establishing a kingdom where beauty has absolute authority is the dream which I must make a reality. Morpheus D. Duval. Who is Morpheus D. Duval? He's not a real person. He is the main villain of this game. What a weird thing to open the game with.
Raccoon City, a Midwestern town in the United States, was destroyed when a substance known as the T-virus leaked throughout the town. However, Umbrella, the corporation developing the virus, refused to abort the project.
I love how the subtitles do not match what's being said at all.
Thrust upon the world. A large amount of T-virus was stolen 3 days ago when a terrorist group hit an Umbrella lab in France. Yesterday, one of Umbrella's cruisers was hijacked and contaminated with the same virus.
Also, the voice acting in this game, so much of the presentation of this game is so garbage. It is amazing that this game exists. And, like, people know, like, RE1 has, like, the bad voice acting and dialogue. Some people are aware of Survivor. A lot of people either forget about or don't know about it.
Why you American spies choose to use such ugly guns is still a mystery to me.
Morpheus. Think that cheap cologne you're wearing is going to your head.
What's an elegant gun? What's a beautiful gun?
I'm afraid that's all the playtime we have for today. You die. Now.
It's funny because, like, the cinematics in Outbreak look better than this. The opening of Outbreak is, like, one of my favorite pieces in Resident Evil. Yeah, the retelling of Birkin's attack in RE2, love it. Like, in terms of the graphical presentation of it, the music of it, the cinematography, it's great. And then there's Resident Evil Dead Aim. The D-pad moves the camera. Can I change these controls? It is tank controls forced onto the analog stick. The only thing that changes is the positions of R1 and L1 and L2. Ugh. This is going to be awful. But it will hopefully be fun. You should also play the game with GunCon 2. The GunCon 2 had the D-pad on the back. Like, the G-Con 2, people forget because it wasn't as prevalent as the original G-Con 45. Like, it had a D-pad on the back. It had so many goddamn buttons. But it says that I should be able to move with the D-pad. There we go. I just can't turn with the D-pad on its own. I turn the camera. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so it is the same as the analog stick, it's just a weird situation. The lighting is a weird idea in this game. First person aiming, limited handgun ammo. Why am I doing this on my small screen? That's better. So this is game 4 of the Survivor series. We've seen 2 of them. You might be like, Chrono, if this is game 4, where was game 3? Game 3 was a Dino Crisis game. Dino Stalker. It is weird, isn't it? Oh, it's a third-person game until you're aiming. I can strafe. Gotta say though, graphically, like, look at this. That's not a pretty looking character model, even in 2003. So immediately the story has a few questions. Okay, so it's frozen. Yep. That's why I play it in a small window. Thanks, OBS. Now, if I make, for some reason, with PCSX2 and DuckStation, if I make the emulator, like the front screen that I'm working on, OBS just won't register anything on it. for some reason. So I have to play this in the small window. So bear in mind, when I play this, if you see something I don't, I'm working off a smaller screen than you are. But yeah, so here's the weird thing with Dead Aim. We're working off a... We start the plot, and the plot's already in full swing. The main villain's introduced at the start of the game, has a gun to the main character's head, they've gotten a drop on him. There's another character there. We don't know, as like the player, we have no idea what's going on. Apparently the characters do, we don't. I wish I had a map. Can't examine anything. Okay, so if I hold circle, I do this. For some reason, it's different to holding X. Holding X, I can strafe. I'm locked into one position. Holding circle, I just have my gun ready. But when I have to go into first person to aim, what's the point? There's a keycard lock on the door. I don't know where the hell I am. The fact that I can't examine anything, like you can generally in Resident Evil, is very off-putting, because I feel like a lot of this should be examinable. Like, there's so much that just isn't explained to the player from the get-go, and it's a bad sign. Where am I going? What am I doing? Who are these characters? Why are we doing a Silent Hill map thing? It is a mystery to seek. I don't think we'll ever understand it. Wasn't mainline because of exclusivity. I know that. Somehow Shinji Mikami got like complete control over the Resident Evil franchise. Well, yeah, we're gonna keep the main series exclusive to GameCube. And Capcom executives were like, wait, what? No, don't do that, Mikami. Capcom took it from him because it wasn't selling. I mean, we've been over it before. Like, my thought that if Remake hadn't been exclusive to GameCube, it's possible RE4 would never have been the way it was. RE4 was a deliberate shake-up of the series formula because they thought people didn't want that anymore because Remake and Zero didn't sell. And then, I think some way into the development of RE4, they realised, no, it's probably just because they're on GameCube. So they decided RE4 would be also on PS2. And they announced that it'll be on PS2 before the GameCube version came out. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you there, Teak. I feel like if Remake had come out on the PS2 as well, like if it was GameCube original and had a PS2 port, they would have downgraded everything, but they would have done their best to make it work. Whether it would have been as good, who knows? But it would have still sold. That's my argument. And Resident Evil would not have changed the way it did. Yeah, I think that's also true. It wouldn't surprise me if the PS2 could have handled pre-rendered backgrounds as well as the GameCube. These are some bad zombie noises. Emergency facts from the Paris branch. September 18th, 2002. This is one of the things that's most interesting to me about it. It's one of the latest set Resident Evil games before 4. Like, everything else was 98. RE1, 98, RE2 is 98, RE3 is 98, Survivor is 98, Code Veronica is 98. Outbreak and Outbreak 2 are 98. Gaiden is either 98 or 99, but it's non-canon, so it doesn't matter. Survivor 2 is 98. And then RE0 Remake of 98. And then Dead Aim is 2002, while RE4 is 2004. This is one of the last games we get Umbrella in before they go bankrupt. And it's always been kind of interesting to me because of that. 3 T-virus samples have been stolen from this Paris lab. Prime suspect is Morpheus D. Duval, who belonged to the R&D division of HQ. Motivation appears to be based on retaliation against our company. Therefore, we are sending out this general warning to all divisions. Anyone who obtains any information regarding this matter should contact HQ immediately. Regards, Umbrella Corporation Paris. That's a lot of zombies. You know, this might be the most zombies in a single room in any Resident Evil game until Operation Raccoon City, maybe? What's that? There's 5 over there. 10 over there. I don't know. RE2 could handle 7. That was the specific thing with the engine. They could have 7 zombies in a room at once. And it was the big thing they were proud of. No. So, Ninja, are you pretty into this game? Or are you just, like, you're into the idea of this game? I know there's somebody in one of the communities I'm in who is pretty into this game and has made a point of being like, oh, it can be done in, like, 45 minutes.
$5 billion.
Yes. We have until midnight tomorrow. Retrieve the virus from...
Right, so you are pretty big into this.
you saved me earlier. You're Chinese Security Bureau, huh? Looks like we're in the same business.
Same business doesn't mean same side needs to be given.
You already know my name. That makes sense since you're blackmailing both partners.
How you doing, Ben? Sub 22 minutes. Yeah, I'm not thinking speedrun, I'm thinking like comfortable is like 45 maybe.
If cooperation is too much to ask for on our first date, might I suggest we simply stay out of each other's way?
Follow me. That's my name. And I don't date freshmen. If you really want to help, then go home.
Done this in under an hour.
Fast.
That doesn't surprise me. These subtitles, man. Also, the fact that the main character looks just awful in cutscenes. Like, it's kind of fascinating just how bad a lot of this is. From a company that was, like, kind of at their peak at this point. Never cared either. Fond memories blends game in the hospital. That's fair. Looks fine to you. I would like to see what you consider to look bad, Dentig. Standard PS2. How dare you? You realise how short it is. That's fair. Hey, how you doing, video games? It has been forever. Where have you been? You were due in last Friday. You're late for your checkup. What is this? Basically just run around zombies, yeah. I can't believe that just opened all the doors. Well, I guess I'm going back upstairs. RE4 kidnapped you. Yeah, some of the people in chat have also been caught up on it. Some kind of upscale. It should be an upscale. What, four times? We're emulating it, Ninja, because it's so much simpler than busting out the actual PS2. But it will look cleaner. Yeah. And you're moving. Oof. I didn't mention any names, Mir. You're projecting. It's one of my favourite things about playing PS2. PS2 is, like, arguably one of the best systems ever. Let's see what that does. That was lame. Did you have a good time at least? Where am I going? Only on your 6th playthrough. I've played it like 1.5 times, and I'm like, you know, I'm kind of good now. May's been so busy with RE4, mate. Didn't even get to see what character we used the name for in... Nice. In FF6. Name... Didn't Fongling just have this? Like, we name the characters in FF6 after regulars in the chat. Of course we name one of them after May, because May's, like, super regular is why. May got to go into the battle. Ninja got left on the ship. Never played FF6, so you wouldn't know what it is anyway. It's fine, we made you the little girl. We made Ninja the feral boy we find in the wilds. fine. Don't think too much about it. You okay there, buddy? What's the thing with Dead? Oh, this is the save room. It's the thing with Dead Aim. It's so clear that Bruce McGivern is supposed to be Leon and Fong Ling is supposed to be Ada. So yeah, what do we have? I was Sellers, the Magitech Knight. Klim was Terra. Chance was King Edgar, and also, like, the twin brother was Chance backwards, which was Eknach, which was funny. The entire reason that exists because I typed it in and it amused me. That's the same room. Where's the save? Teak was Locke, the treasure hunter, who is most definitely not a thief. I forget who Bane was. No, Bane was Shadow, the mercenary assassin. Oh, there it is. Also put Titanium in there. We missed Titanium. We hope Titanium's doing okay. I haven't seen Titanium in probably close to a year now. There's something about the specific movement of, like, the camera in this. No, Ninja, you're not allowed to. You're a mod. Like, there's something about the specific movement of the camera of this that's so weird. Oh no! These zombies appeared from nowhere. Well, I still play a lot of games from this period and earlier. This doesn't feel like anything else I've really played. And it's probably because it's intended to be played with a gun controller. That's probably the specific thing. The really cheap feel of it kind of reminds me of PNO3, which was a game that had no, like, absolutely no business feeling as cheap as it was. You think Revelations 3 is actually going to happen? Regular report number 1162. Been my final report on Morpheus for a while since it appears he's starting to suspect something. Until further notice from me, please refrain from contacting me so I can devote myself to do my regular job as his aide. Robbing the lab in Paris, Morpheus appears to be preparing to board the cruise to auction the items. His obsession with the beauty keeps escalating. Just recently he has undergone plastic surgery to retain his youthful looks. Often say questionable phrases like, I will eliminate the ugly things in the world and create my kingdom filled with beauty. We need to take action against him before it becomes too late, since he's currently in negotiations with several countries, including the US. Apparently it was cancelled. That's disappointing. I would have been down for Revelations being a sub-series that focused more on straight horror, as the main series keeps going back to action. And it's like, but, like, Village and RE2 Make were more horror again, and it's like, no, Village was action. Village was action with monsters that chased you. Where did I pick the world from? Okay, so I got an ID card. Yeah, it was the whole point of Revelation. You get to have the horror. And it's like, cool, then keep doing Revelations. Made a bioweapon, didn't make a vaccine. Yeah, RE3 Make changed it so, like, the doctor at the hospital who made the vaccine worked for Umbrella. But in the original, it's just a random doctor who's working at the hospital manages to essentially synthesize a vaccine for the T-virus, because Umbrella doesn't have one. Like, you go through the files in OGRE3, and there's a doctor in the hospital who was working on trying to figure it all out. And came pretty close, and then Carlos puts all the pieces together. RE3 Maker's just like, yeah, no, we've got a stash of vaccines here. I can't carry anymore. I only have 100 bullets. Where the hell did you come from? It's weird how quiet this game is. Like, the only thing you ever hear about this game is how... Guess just use the card here again. The only thing you ever hear about this game is how good the save theme is. And it's like, cool, is that because it's like the only theme in the game? Cool deck. You know what this is reminding me of? And, like, I won't be surprised if you don't. Why do I suddenly have room for bullets? Won't be surprised if you haven't heard of this. But this has reminded me of Cold Fear. Was Simmons right, though? RE6's plot is so dumb anyway. It's like, oh yeah, also there's like this big secret conspiracy that also controls... That's a weird looking assault rifle. I think it's around the same time. None of you guys getting up? Like, oh yeah, no, there's just a big conspiracy, the family that works behind the scenes. Of America and probably also like the rest of the world. And then we just completely move on from that because it's a really dumb plot point. I stand by what I said earlier in this session. Ada rejected me on a dating site, so I'm gonna destroy the world. It's a fair point you bring up, but it's like, he has two motivations in the game. Preventing the president from revealing that... that the US government worked with Umbrella. And also, Ada rejected him. Yeah, I stand by what I said earlier this session. After Sugimura died and Capcom just dissolved... Oh, music. Oh, it's gone now. After Sugimura died and Capcom dissolved Flagship, the stories of Resident Evil just got worse. What's this? She found out Simmons was the one that blasted the city to oblivion. That was not something that ever needed to be attributed to a specific person. Begin the facility improvements today. The handle to open and close the hatch for pool drain on first floor is quite rusty and should be replaced. Keep the current one in storage on first floor just in case. Hey, how you doing, Nelson? I'm the lad to get in the jacuzzi. The jacuzzi is the only safe place from the zombies. It's interesting, like, given the setting. Resident Evil had only done the cruise liner before in Gaiden. And as with a lot of Game Boy as with a lot of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games trying to create a real setting, it has to make a lot of sacrifices just for the sake of gameplay, and even then it's still boring as hell. Oh, the dual streams with Teak were just for a short period. Well, we did Gotham Knights, and then last week it was also like, I'm not doing anything, I don't have any plans tomorrow, I can't start something long. Because we're doing Star Wars month for May. And so I was like, Teak, you got 5K set up, you want to help me test it out on stream? And so we played arcade games last week. Yeah, I was going to take today off. But, like, honestly, my main thing with it is... What else? I've said before, like, Sunday is the only regular schedule point I have. Even with me having streamed 7 days straight, like, consecutively 7 days, I didn't want to... like, miss the Sunday. No, I wasn't on this morning. I was on yesterday. I wasn't on this morning. See, I don't want to miss a Sunday with it being, like, my only regular time. Ideally, I'd like for it to be... It's like, oh, you want to catch a chrono stream? The guaranteed time is Sunday. Alright, cool, we're on the other side of there now. That opens that up. But yeah, I'm aiming, because I'm off this week, I'm aiming to stream as much as possible this week. Especially because it's the start of Star Wars month. So we're going to be doing a bunch of Star Wars games through the course of this month. Well, what's the advantage of this one? Burst of 3 rounds at one time. Avoiding detection when attacking. Yeah, I don't see any notable value over any of that. I swear these zombies are literally just appearing out of nowhere. basically the DMC2 of weapons. So every weapon you get is the same. But it shoots faster. But you won't notice that it shoots faster. That's how it is in DMC2. It's like, oh, this sword is faster. This sword is stronger. You won't notice any difference. Look forward to when Ninja and I do the co-stream. And we're playing Devil May Cry 2. And by that I mean I'm playing Devil May Cry 2 and Ninja's just watching me. Faster. Last in Devil May Cry 2 is you just rapidly spamming the guns. It is weirdly quiet, isn't it? There's letter. September 14th, 2002. Brother! Brother! How's everything? My life has taken a turn for the better because I'm on a luxury cruise liner. Well, actually, I work as a waiter on a cruiser. Most passengers are well known and I've seen them before on TV. My colleague told me they came from various countries to discuss business, and that world-famous drug company owns this cruiser. Anyway, I'm doing fine. Take care of Mother for me. Love to all, Joseph Carter. Okay. If that noise was coming from me, like, you hear it when I mute the mic. I'm going to talk, and while I'm talking, I'm going to... And, like, you'd hear it cut out. Very particular about trying to get the mic settings right for that. I don't want you guys to have to, like, hear the ambient noise in the room when I'm not talking. I find it's kind of distracting. I want to just have it set so it's like the stream's not like that. I try to set like standards to hold myself up to. No, that's what Ninja, I have the mute button for that. Come on. Like if you're so bothered about it, I'll make a special mic for the farts and like position it down lower. But as it currently stands, I have a mute button for that. No, it makes this a ASMR stream. Noise gates are great. Like, spending the time to work that out. My standards since I started streaming have risen considerably. And light a flame next to it. What am I doing? Club symbol. Nah, we're all about the video games here. What I like. Ten subs at once, you'll get a fart mic. It'll just be this mic and I won't mute it. This game should have doors. Like, the movement on it's weird. It's like you turn the camera, not yourself, by moving left and right. So it's like the left stick and the right stick are both on one stick, and it's really weird. It's not like tank controls. Not quite like tank controls. 200 bits for two continuous farts. Okay. August 27th. 2002. Can someone do me a favor and look up if August 27th, 2002 is actually a Tuesday? Yes, today is my 100th day anniversary since coming aboard. That's all I can write about since this place is so boring. I expected a lot because it's a luxury cruiser, but I've learned there's almost no difference from working on a cargo vessel. I don't know why you would expect it to be. It was a Tuesday, thank you, Nelson. I don't know why you would expect working on a cruise liner would be any different from working on another ship. It was, thank you. Thank you for double confirmation. I finally have something to write about today. Large cargo was carried. There should be a comma there. Today, large cargo was carried into the presentation room, which is beyond the boiler room. Recently, many people are going in and out of that room. I wonder what's taking place there. I'm curious because the crew doesn't have access to that room. So, red marks for a break in the sheet of one of the cargo crates today. August 7th was a Wednesday. 27th, Teague. Symbol for biological and chemical weapons. Somehow passengers are still going in and out of that room. Maybe there's a hidden door in that room, but I'm not sure where it would lead. My boss yelled at me today for not paying attention to my job. What a jerk. But I better be more careful since I need to keep this job. Secret door. Ah, the valve handle. This absolutely huge valve handle. Then yes, Tuesday. Excellent. Triple confirmation. How am I doing? Fine. No, something's happening. Oh, it's an in-game cutscene. Look at how bad his hair looks.
Should have left by now. Somewhere in America, there's a kitten stuck in the tree, desperately needing your help.
Necks aren't supposed to turn like that.
Thanks for the present.
Funny girl. Now give me a hand. Falling!
What the company ran out of... Oh, I'm playing as the girl. What if the company ran out of budget and made all the other days up because no one checked the first two? This is a Resident Evil game. That's right. How bad is it? I'm gonna make a point here real quick. Code Veronica is a Dreamcast game. Code Veronica's a Dreamcast game and looks better than this. How you doing, Clint? This is Gaiden, but fun. Like, Code Veronica looks better than this does. But also, that's the door Fongling just came out of. Bruce is in that room. Where did all these zombies come from? Also, she had a pistol. What happened to her? Super Gaiden, God Super Gaiden. Where did all these zombies come from? She ate the pistol. That can't be healthy. I like playing PS2 games, just generally. I like playing them on emulator because they look so much cleaner. If you remember when we used to actually stream off PS2, I was like, great, I love it. I love playing off like actual hardware, it's great. But I spent a bunch of time, effort and money coming up with a video solution that was reasonable, and it still wasn't great. Because the PS2's video output is just kind of bad. That was a bad animation. So emulating PS2, I really like just how clean it is. Yeah, so cut across the hallway. Not this hallway. I really wasn't kidding about just being able to run past these zombies. We've been doing this for an hour. There were zombies out here before.
Beauty and brains.
And you are just brawn.
Sephiroth.
You will not destroy this for me.
That's not what he said. I love how we turn subtitles on, but I still have to be quiet during the cutscenes, because the subtitles are so wrong.
Party guest seems to arrive. Hurry up, boy.
They look more amphibian than the regular hunters. But like not as amphibian as the Gammas. Is there a quick turn in this game? Or are my options? There is no quick turn. I get the feeling this would be worse to play with a gun controller. Little help. Wasn't that comfortable to do. That's fair.
Enjoy your stay.
Not again.
Lady, you do not have the charisma to be such a bitch. I love how you start the game.
Never
And the
try.
That's not what viruses do. I love how you start the game and the main villain is already dying because of the opening cutscene. Like, that's funny. Oh, excellent. Look at all this handgun ammo. And a save point. Nanomachine viruses. Using these nanomachine viruses, you can hold back the cancer. Oh, you mean the TG virus? Yeah. There's probably a reason for that we'll get to see. Oh, map for this area. But I feel like this big room with like these numerous pathways is a boss room. Thought it was going to be something scary then. Where am I now? Right. Oh, I know where I am. This should absolutely be on my map then. Is this game bad? Yes. But it doesn't commit the true cardinal sin of gaming, of being boring or unplayable. Pry it open or shoot it. Shooting it probably wouldn't help. That has a biohazard symbol on it. Why would crew, like, what is it, crew property? A box of crew belongings. Why would a box of crew belongings be in a sealed crate? You know, Bane, based off that Hunter fight, I believe you. Like, dealing with those hunters there felt less reliable. Like, moving into a better position to shoot felt less reliable than... felt less reliable than fighting the Tyrant in Survivor. Ooh, free herb. But that's why we put it on easy. Because we expect to, like... we expect the game to play really badly. Umbrella? Wonder why you think that, Ninja. Hunter... height and weight is spelled wrong there. Height and weight. Special Elite version has been modified for presentation. It is faster, more powerful than a standard hunter. It doesn't have claws, it cannot instantly take off your head. Ooh, Tentacle Siren. Newly developed virus. It attacks objects with its huge arms. While its agility and striking power are outstanding, it currently has a fatal flaw because an essential organ is exposed. However, this will be rectified in future models. It hasn't been rectified yet. Like, I assume they're not talking about the heart because that's always been exposed. Like, you talk about the Proto-Tyrant in Zero. The Proto-Tyrant in Zero was considered a failure because its spine was exposed. Not that its heart was exposed, which it was. The anuses, but of course. Weak to you slipping a finger right up in there. It's like... Getting to the heart of the problem. Successfully, we have succeeded in using the T virus and the G virus so that it has electrical properties. That doesn't make sense. However, after observing the prototype known as T091, we have to concede there is much room for improvement. This newest version, version 0.9.2, we have finally been able to achieve a high voltage current, which our initial goal. Its electromagnetic barrier should make it near invulnerable. We now require a human test subject that matches conditions to experiment and observe. And I beheld Satan as he fell from heaven like lightning. Good work, Ninja. That looks really bad.
A scared little rat with an ugly, useless gun.
Morpheus?
As I said, useless.
That was close to what the capture said. They're getting better. Oh shit, it can cartwheel. I can't stand up to those powers. No, it's not Leon. Use gun. It can use doors. No, like, one of the things I make the point of with this is you can see it was originally supposed to be a... How did you get in front of me? It used lighting. You mean lightning? No. You're gonna fight your first date. Apparently. So this is Morpheus, and this is one of the weird things with the TG virus. Apparently, they explain this as I could do without close-ups of the nipples. They explain this as the TG virus turns the people who are infected with it into idealized forms of themselves, and because Morpheus the Duval had a weird obsession with beauty, it turned him into a woman. Which is incredibly reductive, for one. Morpheus wanted to be a sexy lady. You know what, Nelson, I'm okay with being a little more vanilla. Still don't have a map. So it creates the problem with bringing the TG virus back for one. Oh god!
I'll explain later. Open this door from the inside.
Lightning powers can't open a door. It's like, okay, so the TG virus, they can either retcon it, to say, like, the TG virus will make you into a woman, or they can stick with the idea of, oh, the TG virus turns you into an idealized form based on your inherent personal values. It's like, cool, neither of those work as an idea. Are those claws? Excuse me. Why isn't this thing fully automatic? Oh, there we go, it is now. These hunters might be too spongy. You see, the secret to that, Nelson, is you need to be a top secret Chinese spy. Yes. Now let's get that door open. What do you mean it's electronically locked? I just turned the power on. Top secret on Twitch. Top secret Twitch spy. Which, like, will probably be Chinese soon enough. China's buying everything. Buying stakes in everything. China's gonna own everything soon. Then we'll be sorry. Will we? No. So I didn't see that I had to pull the switch next to it. All power is on. Cool. What am I missing? Okay. These environment designs are so bland, it's hard to make out anything you're supposed to interact with.
How many times are you expecting me to save you, mister?
Come on. What are friends for? I'm just trying to help you build up your confidence.
Don't.
Don't.
Shh.
think he's given up. Wait. Before you said Donghua, what does that mean?
It means you are cool.
I feel like we accomplished nothing there. We saved your ass. Okay. We hit on the Asian lady. And also probably misgendered somebody. We need to find out if Morpheus still identifies as a man. Yeah, the whole idea of like, oh yeah, taking the virus... No, it's only a hunter. The whole idea of this virus being all like, hey, take this and you'll turn into a sexy female tyrant with lightning powers. And it's like, I'm sorry, what? Why? Ugh. You people and your desire for sexy female lightning powers. I don't know where the recreation room is. Hit me with the TG virus. I want lightning powers. And to be a sexy lady, yes, that too. Then we'll return when he is a sexy lady with lightning powers. August 20th, 1998. Attention, Mr. D. Morpheus D. Duval. Upon investigation, we've concluded that you're responsible for the incident in Raccoon City on May 11th, 1998. The services with the company are hereby terminated. May 11th? That predates the mansion incident. Non-disclosure agreements shall remain in effect. Finally, your final paycheck will be fulfilled in accordance with the special procedure of your agreement. May 11th predates the mansion incident and the Ecliptic Express. I wish I had a map for this area. I just ran through it and I don't know, like, if anything was here. It's like, you inject yourself with the TG virus. You become a sexy woman. You gain lightning powers. But you also get tyrant hands. Oh, is this the map? Excellent, goddamn. The issue is you can never play video games again because you have tyrant hands. That's what I... Ninja, you can't rely on me to play your video games for you. I'm not playing Dragon Age for you. Play VR games. Can you hold a VR controller with your tyrant hands? Yes. It's true. I'm willing to throw my hands away to find out. Listen, buddy, I'm a sexy lady tyrant now. I don't need video games. I can go out and get laid. And then kill my partner. Because I'm a sexy lady tyrant praying mantis. You're not a sexy lady tyrant, you're doing it wrong. I feel like the lady tyrants shouldn't have nipples. The male tyrants don't get nipples, the male tyrants don't get the dong. Female tyrants shouldn't get nipples. And in all fairness, can we call it a tyrant if it doesn't have an exposed heart? Chosen to ignore your request. Yeah, sounds about right. I appreciate this game just circles the place I need to go on the map. Like, that is really nice. Is the recreational key the club key? It is. Alright, so I know where I need to go. I'm just waiting until we get into the dining room so I can say dining room. Where did Morpheus go? Stairs room. I'm concerned that we won't be able to find enough nail polish on the ship for that. Those nails are pretty big now. This game feels a lot like Silent Hill with all these doors that are locked and cannot be opened. The important thing that we're not actually talking about, though, is that Morpheus has retained, like, all clarity. Like, still retains all intelligence in Tyrant form. A man became a tyrant, and is now a sexy female tyrant with lightning powers. 4 months tomorrow since Spencer Rain left port. Proud that we have been having a safe voyage so far. Representing from Umbrella, the owner of the cruiser spoke words of appreciation to me. Something strange, crew reported nothing special. Concerned that the Wands may be breaking free. I'll make sure to always have my Magnum pistol with me. Just can't open doors. Opened a lot of doors. Actually, that's a weird point. We never saw Morpheus open doors as a tyrant. Hey, is that legendary streamer Foxhound Cat? What are you doing here? Don't you have resistance to play at this time? Oh, excellent. Thank you, video games. Need to set my headphones. You steamed. What a good idea. Get steamed if you're in work tomorrow. Streamed, yes. Finished Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 6. We are on day 8 of consecutive streams. Thank God, no. I keep forgetting it's bank holiday. Like, it wouldn't matter to me regardless. I'm off tomorrow. I'm off all week because I booked the week off. But also, it wouldn't matter to me regardless if I was... Job's open, you just not work, that's fair enough. Yeah, a lot of places I've worked just like, yeah, bank holidays? No, just working. Cool, is it like reduced hours? No. Oh, that was a posture check. I thought it said stretch. Oh, it was stretched. It was the second one. Alright. Thank you, video games. Yeah, I'm off all week. We're doing Star Wars month. I can't send a signal for rescue. What should I do? The passengers and crew are all dead now. All I can do is accept what has been happening on my ship as my destiny. That reminds me, I want to play Shadow of Destiny. It's so cool. Oh my god, what have I done? Do it again. All I wanted was a little fun, do it again. Got a brain like bubblegum, do it again. Blowing up my cranium, do it again. Who is it? They said zombies took a lot of damage in RE2, mate. The Milkman. The game is so fucking stupid. Magnum. It's weird with this, like, I'm playing it on easy, so you expect the enemies to not be super spongy. But the enemies have been super spongy. Resident Evil bargain basement. The captain just had a woman in his bathroom. Fully clothed. Like I said earlier, it makes me think of PN03 as like garbage level productions that Capcom put out around this time. Alright, I guess we're going upstairs more. More stairs. I'm gonna die and come back in a zombie. I don't want to be naked. I got bit. I got bit on the titty. I was naked and I got bit on the titty. But I'm not coming back as a naked zombie.
That alarm can't be any good. Any idea what it's for?
Look,
Oh no!
we gotta get out of here.
Go!
Captain bit her on the titty. And the weird thing is, he wasn't even a zombie when he did it. Pilot stations, people. The ice cream man. Oh, the ice cream man can. He doesn't have an exposed heart. He has an exposed heart on the back.
I'll distract the monster while you run after Morpheus.
Got it.
Alright, monster. It's payback time.
I think CVX Town is an interesting concept. Like, not having claws, just being more bludgeoning. But then it grows the claws anyway. It's like, well, you might as well have just had the claws to begin with. Bitch. If this is the end of the game, I'm gonna be, like, really amused. It wanted to be Wolverine, but instead it had to be, like, Omega Red. Sir, we made the creature, but it doesn't have a heart. Is there any space on the front? No, sir. Put it in the back. And that's the tragic story of the Titanic. But sir, put it in the back. Don't want none unless you got heart, bun. Ah yes, the titty cannon. So as far as we're aware, Fallen Wing's dead, right? Are we in Project Zero now?
Morpheus.
Just an abandoned village on an island. Like, this is Project Zero, right? Ship is the same as the train in Zero. You know stuff happens after, but man. So what you're saying is it gets more boring after the ship? Let's grab this map. This place looks huge. See, I disagree. I always felt the train was the most interesting part of Zero. And then the game just meanders about for like another 5 hours and then just ends. And Billy dies. How the Scorpion landed on the train. The most suggestion we've got for the Scorpion is that it was being transported in the train. But, like, nothing about it makes sense. July 16th, 1997, one was passage. I was dispatched here. I'm astounded at the sloppy supervision of this Umbrella waste disposal facilities. Not surprising this accident happened. I know that if I must die, I want to die as a human. Scorpion was the conductor. Yeah. That's why after the Scorpion dies, the train just goes off the tracks. Supervisor here called Morpheus is he's so annoying he drives me nuts. He must pay more attention to worker health management and biological weapons than anyone I've ever met. Scorpion was the friends we made along the way. Now get over here. He must pay more attention to worker health management and biological weapons than anyone I've met. That sounds like something a supervisor at an Umbrella facility should really be doing. I don't understand why that would be a bad thing. Jimmy's dead. Time to crash. Changes to the BOWs which have been considered failures and have been disposed of in this facility. Torpedo kits. The unknown water creatures are increasing rapidly, primarily in the drainage ditch. Since their body fluid contains strong acids, they are extremely dangerous to touch. I named them Torpedo Kids since they swim like torpedoes. Frank, you don't get to name things again. It's like a rip-off Mario enemy. You've heard of Torpedo Teds. Now meet his son, Torpedo Kid. I've learned that there is a mother that spawns all of the Torpedo Kids. If I can find this mother and kill her, I will be able to exterminate all the creatures in this area. I decided to try and exterminate the Torpedo Kids, so I explored the drainage ditch in order to destroy their mother. However, the Torpedo Kids appeared to try and protect their mother and badly injured me. Now they've extended their territory to my place, so I must find a way to get rid of them. Great, that sounds like it'll be fun. I'm back to bashing Torpedo Kids in the head. Don't have room for more ammo types. Meet Pluto. Oh boy, I thought Bane was joking and was making a joke about the dog from Disney. How do you make Ouroboros? Yeah, I have noticed the dodge. I pulled it off accidentally. The water's glitching. But Wesker getting less Plagas for Ouroboros. Separate ways makes the point in the original RE4 that Ada replaces the sample with a fake, and then somewhere else in Resident Evil, it's explained that Wesker bought an actual Las Plagas sample on the black market. Unless it was hidden away in the manual. It might have been in the manual, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't. Even the submissive Plaga. Probably on eBay in 2004. Ouroboros. Ouroboros Plagas. Most people said it was Bowser. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected Krauser's body to still be intact after the island explodes. Who put the G virus in the black market? Nikolai, I think. Probably something to do with Nikolai. Punk worked for Umbrella. Sounds like a Nick thing, yeah. It might be one of those things that's shown in Outbreak when Nikolai appears in Outbreak. Imagine the data. It will be worth millions. Data on naked zombies. Yeah, he gets the data from Thanatos. He kills somebody in that scenario, an Umbrella scientist. Nikolai down. The city needs that vaccine. More than I do. Kills a discount Wesker. I don't think the wisdom I've been trying to impart on you has been speaking. I don't remember the line from this part. Seriously, I don't have enough room to hold more ammo for some reason. Frustrating. and the game will only let me throw away handgun ammo. Sherry is the only G-human in existence. Prior to, like, RE6, it was supposed to be a thing that Wesker had gotten G-virus from her. I think. Like, honestly, I don't remember. What, too much ammo? Rather too much than not enough. Leon went to save her. Did get it from Ada and Umbrella Chronicles. Honestly, at this point with the remakes, who knows what Capcom actually considers canon. Yeah, I remember Umbrella Chronicles is like, oh yeah, Ada finds the grapple gun on someone's corpse. And then it's just her signature grapple gun from that point.
They're gonna launch missiles carrying the T-virus at major cities across the United States. The Chinese are no longer in this with us. They've agreed to pay the $5 billion.
But that would make Fong Ling's presence obsolete.
Fong Ling? Bruce, have you had contact with Fong Ling?
Yes, if China were to choose to cooperate with Morpheus.
In any case, the United States will not be threatened, and we do not negotiate with terrorists. The safety of our nation is in your hands. Good luck.
I forgot about the missile plot. Well, that'll be what the silence pistol's for. The United States does not negotiate with terrorists. That's Pluto? Cool, where am I? I'm in a completely different area to Bruce. I just bought too many things from eBay. Hmm. Move fast, baby, don't be slow. Yeah, I was thinking when I saw that it's got no eyes, like, oh, that'll be what the silence pistol's for. All these thoughts running through my head, I'm on fire, veins burning red, frustration is getting bigger, bang, 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 pull my devil trigger. It's a shame I don't have any more handgun ammo. So I'm gonna have to be like hitting it super loud. Oh, there's the key. You bastards. I'll definitely say, like, this game has been less boring than Zero so far. Yeah, because I don't actually have a handgun. Like, why am I carrying around handgun ammo? I haven't got a handgun. Yes. That's the fun thing about the Chrono Facts claim, you can learn something new every day. Doesn't stack bullshit on top of bullshit. The areas aren't lingering for too long. There have been no puzzles. So, like, it doesn't have bullshit puzzles. Nope, don't wheel Excalibur 2 because you cannot legally... I say legally, legitimately get to Excalibur 2 in time in the European release of Final Fantasy IX. It is actually impossible if you play the European release. It's like everybody who's played Final Fantasy IX knows that if you can get to the final dungeon or the final disc, within 12 hours, then you gain Excalibur 2, which I think is the strongest weapon in the game. It's also basically required if you get that far because your characters will be super underleveled. Memoria, yeah. As is generally the case, Final Fantasy IX in the European version runs slower than the US version. How much health does she have? Because of the refresh rate issue. It's a very common issue back in the day. Games in the European regional format PAL would generally run slower than the NTSC format, which is US and Japan, NTSC-U and NTSC-J. So Final Fantasy IX runs slower in Europe, like a lot of other games do. By that point, a lot of games had been like altered, so it wasn't really a problem. It's like if you look at, say, it's most notable with recognizable video game music. Like Mega Man 2 or Sonic 2, look up the PAL versions. I forgot about the satellite laser. Generally, by the PS1, they mostly fixed it. So the games weren't overly slow. Like, they didn't sound slower, they just played a little slower because of that. Final Fantasy IX, the game is slower, but the timer isn't.
What are you doing?
So the timer still runs at the US speed, even though the game itself runs slower. Because of that, it is literally impossible to get to Memoria within 12 hours in the European release of Final Fantasy IX.
The government seems to care an awful lot about where you are. Not even their best agent, which makes you expendable. What are you going to do?
I'll continue my mission. Morpheus will live up to his end of the deal, even if we pay. But the people of China are still in danger.
It's a little like Mei Ling.
Oh, and since you saved me this time, I think I should say thanks.
Don't mention it. I'm a Donghua after all.
Like, that can't be Kim, my guest. You know what? I'd appreciate that, Ninja. Because if it is Kim, my guest, I'm going to put down the terrible voice acting to a very bad direction. Subscribe to the Chrono fans to see the uncensored version of Bruce McGivern and Fong Ling getting it on. Claire O'Connor. Never heard of her. So a very important change to BOW is considered failures to be disposed on this facility. Limo? They will relocate the observation area to be underground. This area is low on power. Most areas are very dark. Assume some creatures fond of dark places must inhabit this area. Small red shining objects look like the eyes of some creature, but we've not confirmed the entity yet. It moves extremely quickly and runs away as soon as we approach. I've named this creature Glimmer for its glimmering eyes. In order to collect samples, I had some workers go try and capture a Glimmer. The plan did not work out, and instead target attacked them and 2 people are now dead. Increased number of workers in order to try and capture a Glimmer. This time they succeeded in shooting down one of them. According to the workers, Glimmer will open itself up just before it goes to attack. So it's dead, it has gained valuable samples. Examining collected samples, but I don't have any idea as to how the Glimmer evolved and transformed into this figure. It seems to be a subspecies of hunter. I, however, need to research this further. I mean, you say that, Nelson, but, like, they probably got paid for that. Pluto. They'll begin the experiment on the subject. The subject is a condemned criminal named called Alpha. This has been 1 month since the subject was transported to this facility. He's not exactly aware of what's going to happen to him. However, he seems to be very frightened. This experiment hammered a metal rod into the subject's frontal lobe in order to alleviate some of the pain. This was done only for humanitarian reasons. Remove the eyeballs in order to observe its reactions to external stimulation. After administering the muscle booster, we confirmed the unusual development of the muscles. It gained a drastic amount of weight before the treatment. In the future, we'll consider using hampering items. An effect of the eyeball removal procedure has been an enhanced sense of hearing. Recognizes precisely where a sound originates and its distance from that sound. The experiment has been suspended due to the fact that the subject has escaped. Even without its vision, the subject is quite dangerous. We should take extreme care not to make any sounds when we try to capture it. Great. Alright. But yeah, with any of the work for this, like, they would have gotten paid, and I can't imagine it would be like an extended amount of work. There's been overall a surprisingly small amount of dialogue in the game. How you doing, Star? Well, those would be the glimmers. Don't hump my face. It's for ambience, Nelson. You know, this is one of those flashlights that you only ever see in Silent Hill, though. So they said the glimmers are a subspecies of hunter. They look a lot closer to the lurkers, like just general frogs. Like if the gammas were closer to being frogs. This game can be beaten in 22 minutes. I feel like we have to be close to the end. Chemicals in the water made the frogs huge. You know, I was gonna make a suggestion about that, but I decided not to. I was debating, like, debating saying something like we can't speak to their sexual orientation. But there's a fire. I had an umbrella pointing chemicals in the water that turn the frogs huge and also possibly gay. Oh no. So has anybody in the chat, thank you Ninja. Has anybody in the chat actually played Cold Fear? So is this not gonna work? Oh, it does. I'm gonna put it out there, Star. This isn't the worst Resident Evil game I've ever played. Not too bad, like, once you get it going. Once you get used to it. I say it's not the worst Resident Evil game I've played. I'd say, like, probably don't play more than, like, 10. Don't pay more than $10 or something for it. It's like, oh, yeah, no, it's all cool and funny and everything, but also it's not great, and chances are you're not going to replay it a lot. How much is Haunting Ground going for currently, Star? No, it's okay. I already have the manual on the case. It's the weird thing. Haunting Ground in the US has been pricey for a long time. Like, a very long time now. Because I've had Haunting Ground for years. I bought it for £7. And it started going up in price over here. That's a boss arena. But, like, the price in the US has always just been insane. And I don't know why. Because the price was never that high in the UK. Recently it started going up in price, but like all PS2 games have started going up in price recently for some goddamn reason. It's like the picture I shared what was it, like last year? Persona 3 FES, £105, £110. I think I paid £10 for my copy years ago. This game probably should have more music. Like, if you were just playing this alone, it would be, like, really boring. Go. Oh Lord, he coming. Come here, think I got the bacon. Do I have more assault rifle bullets? I do. Alright. I'm gonna, like, make a point here. Don't put this in full screen. Because that's obnoxious. This was 2003. That was like beyond the point where they should have been very concerned about epilepsy. Welcome to the stream, Pwappa. It's an interesting way of looking at it. This guy ever gonna back up? There needs to be a faster response between, like, shooting and then exiting aim mode to run. The flash is irritating. And especially when the drum holds 100 shots. Well, we did it. I'm glad I'm not playing this on anything higher than easy, like, goddamn. I'll warn you guys before I pull out the assault rifle again. Thanks, man.
The missiles are below this room.
Ah yes, Morpheus' secret underwater base. Look, I don't want Jabba, I just want Salacious Crumb. Where the hell have you been? And please, put a shirt on. Don't elevators like this have brakes? Why would the brakes need to be manually activated?
Go, go, go!
He's training in gun safety. Because it's cruel. Look at his tiny fingers. Okay, we're playing as Fong Ling again, and the only thing she has is an assault rifle. So I'm going to try and avoid combat as much as possible, but like, the only way we can defend ourselves is with the really bad flashing. Doesn't judge a man by his fingers. Got a map in here? No. Bruce, aka Tiny Fingers Leon. It's weird, isn't it? Like, by 2003, people were supposed to be way more aware of that kind of thing, especially in Japanese productions. Like, the Pokemon issue had already happened by that point. Yeah, the exclamation mark means not in some languages, and in some languages, tiny fingers also means not. It's a light gun thing. I understand that, Mayor. I do understand that. It's still excessive. I suppose the thing was just like more TVs at the time, wasn't it? TVs at the time were generally smaller. It's a Logitech? It's a Logitech something. I don't know where the box is for it anymore. Oh, it says... No, I don't like it says. Yeah, it's probably something like that, man. There's a microphone that comes out. I don't use it, I have a separate mic. I think it's something like the mouse. My mouse isn't. I've used this for several years. It's comfortable enough. For streaming, generally, I have a separate mic. I've never really used the mic for this because I always have the streaming mic plugged in. So if I'm talking over anything on PC, it's just I end up using the streaming mic I use. Looks like G432. I have the box around anywhere. Not in there. They aren't great. In my experience, it's comfortable enough. I don't use the mic, so I can't speak to the quality of it. It has an option on the back, right here, the toggle you can click. Switch it between the 3.5 jack and USB audio. Problem I've had with it for a long time, like you want to talk problem with it, is that switch is a little finicky and it will mess up the audio if it isn't set perfectly. So like, I'll only get audio through like one cup and through one channel. And it's got to be set just right or it'll be really awkward. Honestly, you can probably do better. If you're after a budget thing, you could also probably do better. This is a few years old now. I use it mostly just because it's what I have. I've had it for a long time and it's never given me enough problems that it'd be worth me just buying another one. But as it is, like, you probably just buy a better one. In my experience, Sony or Bose are generally good brands for audio. Sennheiser is usually fairly good. But yeah, Ninja's pretty right. Like, if you want to use a mic, if it's... Is it for streaming or anything like that? Because if it's for streaming or anything, I'd recommend just, like, a separate mic, and then any pair of headphones will do you. The advantage of having a headset mic, though, is, like, you pull it out, it's always in the one place. So it's like, I turn over here, and the mic will still be picking up the same level of audio. Mostly for gaming, in that case, yeah, I mean a headset. I'd say shop around. The way I always do it if I'm looking for anything like that is I shop around a little bit. SteelSeries is good, but pricey. Has very specific needs. Fair enough. Yeah, generally just shop around, go with a brand that is reliable, is well trusted. Reviews at this point aren't as reliable as they used to be on quality because bots mass spam reviews. I think for streaming, like, a separate mic is always a good idea. Just for gaming, though, keeping it all within one unit is the best idea because it's less inputs that way. And I don't think anybody expects super clear mic quality on gaming headsets. Separately from the stream audio, so never have to mess with it. That's fair enough. I just have an audio mixer set up on my OBS for that. Also, I hear things at a different volume to you guys anyway. You guys, I have the audio mixer for you guys. and then my own audio is completely different. Which is why we do stuff like, lives alone, doesn't need to hide it. Let's leave that there. This has been a weird enough stream as it is. We don't need to know what kind of things May is doing that she doesn't need to hide. Like, we do stuff like this. I hear that at different volume to you guys. Which is why, if you do it while I'm focused on the game, or like I'm focused on avoiding horror stuff, that's why it'll make me jump sometimes. I hear it at a very different volume to you guys because the mixing is separate. I'd love to know what's causing that. But yeah, for streams, like, having a separate mic is always a good idea. My microphone's up here. Can you see it? No, you can't see it on stream at the minute. A headset mic is convenient because it doesn't matter where you move, it's always the same distance from your mouth. But whereas if I'm moving around for whatever, I could reach over here, and you'd be surprised how quickly the audio can drop off as you move away from a mic like this. And you won't realize it as you're doing it. But quality-wise, like, a separate mic is always better for stream stuff. Anyway, back to the game. No, I'll breathe on the mic. I'll breathe right down the fucking mic. Sometimes I breathe kind of loudly anyway. It's kind of a problem of, like, having asthma. Sometimes, like, if I'm not doing too great. And then the stream froze. Awesome. Yeah, I've got it all good on my side as well, on my view. You know, the best way to avoid those issues, Ninja, is to subscribe. They'll stay working if you subscribe. I love how that Fongling section was absolutely pointless. I mean, no, but by the time you find out that I've scammed you, you'll have already given me your money. So, like, everything will be fine. I have a map. Oh, it wasn't pointless because we turned on the power. Okay. Complete construction on the missile base. I assume HQ doesn't know this facility is operating and is under Morpheus' control. Furthermore, even though I'm only an architect, I'm concerned about how this facility will be used. Morpheus tends to go too far after the raccoon incident. Alright, thanks for joining us, mate. You can take care of yourself, buddy. We'll catch you next time. Don't forget, Star Wars month. Tomorrow. I'm glad I found the map really quickly. Odd Bay. That running animation. Oh no. There's multiple floors. That was rude. Alright, we've got a lot of shotgun ammo. Let's use some of it. Okay, so there's nothing else we can do here, so we have to move up to a different floor. So I think... Is this where Fongling was? No, because the thing was pulled out on her level. Third floor, maybe? Yeah. More shotgun ammo. So nobody answered me, like, has anybody in chat actually played Cold Fear? Got another new enemy. A being that has an external skeleton of a horseshoe crab and the survival power of a cockroach. Confirm that its ecology is similar to ants and or bees, which have been known to work in groups. Good news, Ninja. Cold Fear is on Steam. It's also on, like, PS2, so it's probably better to just emulate it. I'm surprised at that, Tick. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. You've got mail.
Because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Why would it be voicemail? Depends what price you can get it for. If you get it for the price of emulation, then yeah, it's worth a look. There's some cool designs in it. That blood splatter on the wall is actually really cool. Like, as a dynamic thing that's there because I shot an enemy into it, that's actually really cool. I need a tape recorder. But Ninja, why would it be voicemail? It's not a phone, it's a computer. Why would you email somebody voicemail? Arrived and have begun the plan. Need you to make sure all the panels in all the instrument panels work properly. Facilities on strict alert. You'll need input my voice to the voice recognition panel at the entrance of the clean room and a research area and check the instrument panels. I've sent an email containing my voice. It's specifically for for this thing. It's like, yeah, sure, we've got all this like tight security system. I'm gonna send you something that will negate it. Morpheus is an idiot. Look, Ninja, there's two kinds of idiot in Resident Evil. There's Resident Evil villain, and then there's, like, actual idiot. Yep, definitely the latter. You're the later. But this is how we're going to escape. Second floor. Checking the map so often, I feel like I'm playing Silent Hill again. But yeah, like, look up Cold Fear, it might interest you. I think it's interesting.
Because thou hast obeyed my voice. Because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Surely Morpheus couldn't open that voice lock anymore, because his voice is clearly feminine now. Like, it's a different voice now. Dealing with you. Voicemail came from Stephen Hawking. No, it just came from a man who sounds like a robot.
Because thou hast obeyed my voice.
Okay, so now I can get into the rest of this area. This locker is open for no reason. Maybe you should wear it, Bruce. That guy's not wearing anything. I'm not trying to shoot those things. Absolutely not. This seems like a boss room. Man, Alexia really let herself go. So I'm going to use the assault rifle again. Expect flashing. Also, a point I thought of earlier. May brought up the point that, like, it's a light gun game, so the flashing, you expect the flashing. The game isn't doing that really bad flashing with any of the other guns. I did it. It was really bad. Like, that flashing... Okay. Oh no, 3 zombies? I sure hope I'm able to deal with them with my brand new charged particle rifle. I did not expect this to be like a recharging ammo weapon. Looks like experiments were performed here using electricity. Charged particle rifle that was developed to cope with any biohazard that was caused by the T-virus. Based on a particle acceleration device which researchers use for gene manipulation and decomposing molecules. By hitting accelerated particles, it induces physical destruction on a molecular level. This weapon can penetrate barriers of electric discharge and give damage to the target. Currently, we have confirmed this on animal experiments only, however we are confident this weapon can damage TG-charged beings. Remember that this weapon has limited usage because it requires a lot of power. Make sure you charge it properly before use. So yeah, this is the boss gun. Specifically required to defeat Morpheus. Yeah, there's something shining there. Pick it up. Backyard key. Look at me. Look at me. I am the boss gun now. This game has been fucking ridiculous and I love it. Well, we're not going into the analyze room. Surely that would be like analysis room? Thank you, Ben. The lack of music is really just so weird. Don't shoot power supply and elevator. Yeah, you get used to the controls. In dead aim, nobody can hear any music. Alright, so this is where Fongling was knocked out by Morpheus. Presumably this is going to be like final boss territory. This is an office? What is this, like the villain from Equilibrium? Thoughts on My Kingdom? The symbol of power is in Africa, the symbol of knowledge is here in the biosphere, the symbol of beauty is mine. The beauty controls everything and I shall dominate it. Establishing a kingdom where beauty has absolute authority is the dream, which I must make a reality. I was disappointed by Umbrella's betrayal, but that's fine. I'll just use them in return. If I secure enough funds, I will materialize the construction of my kingdom deep in Africa, Northeast Deval. What? Could this game be called Deadly Silence? Maybe. Maybe. If this game suddenly became like Guncaster for the final fight, then it would go up from like maybe a 5 or a 6 to like a 9. We found the shed.
Bowling!
This game is really just a chronicle of the dumb faces Bruce McGivern can make.
I'll get you out of there.
Ooh, boss fountain. Alright, thanks for joining us, Nelson. We'll catch you next time, buddy. Magnum rounds I can't pick up. I'll probably be okay for health. I'd like it if I could drop some of this, though. Anti-life form weapon. Yeah, so I can't drop any of the ammo I've got. So any of this that might be more useful, no. Like, ideally, I'd pick up this assault rifle ammo, reload. I'd pick up this grenade launcher ammo, reload, and then probably pick up that other set of Magnum ammo. What, you mean item box? I mean, that's true. Oh, there's a lot of hanging on. That's true of, Survivor as well. Like, it's frustrating, because I could pick up most of this if I could drop one stack. Alright, let's do the final boss, I guess.
Bruce.
Okay, so
Bruce, a good agent would never risk his mission to save a woman. That's going to be a very costly mistake.
Keep dreaming.
The TG virus evolved high heels into Morpheus's feet. I can't even stand up long enough to pause the game. Jeez. This is going to be like Alexia, isn't it? It's going to require like a stupid level of precise aiming against a very mobile box. Oh, so this is where Resident Evil 6 got the Piers idea from. I'm fine. This is really bad. And like, the way you're supposed to deal with this is clearly the dodge mechanic that the game has never introduced. That I've just had to figure out on my own, completely by accident. Good thing I've got all these healing items. Did you die now? Thank you. That was great, wasn't it? I'll be very surprised if there isn't like a super tyrant form of this.
Why did you save me? Your first priority should have been to disarm the missiles.
And one more for the road,
One
bitch.
never abandons a woman.
Bruce, it's not over yet, Bruce.
It's too complicated. We'll never make it to the missile silo in time.
I'll just watch on this monitor and navigate you through.
Cute. All right, let's do it.
Oh no, a backwards crab walk. Missile launch confirmed. That's not 10 minutes. Oh, that's not good. Wow, Morpheus put on a lot of weight all of a sudden. Which way do I go, Fondling? Oh, this is the right way. Told the way the zombies are. Oh boy. I've realised that I could have gotten the ammo the way I was talking about if I'd just shot the gun. I was willing to throw the ammo away to begin with. Whack-a-mole, yeah. I figured it out eventually. Why would you design a place like this? This corner? I hope it's this corner. Oh boy. How do you keep getting through all these doors?
It's time for you to let go.
With that head popping in and out, it kind of makes me think like more Silent Hill than Resident Evil monster. Oh yeah, here's this giant amorphous blob with the head of the person that used to be inside it, popping out occasionally. That's a lame font. Yeah, I know that. Thank you. That's what I was doing. Don't lie to me, Teak. You've complained over, like, better fonts than that. I'm sorry, have you restarted this entire sequence? Fucking pricks. Like, I had so much space there as well. You say that, Ninja, but I don't think it's been very hard thus far, and we're also playing on easy. I also take issue with that death. Oh, it slammed me against the wall. Cool. I was halfway across the catwalk. This game really should have a quick turn. Quick turn and bust. Here we go. I've got all this shotgun ammo, there's no sense in saving it. This is how spongy the enemies are on easy. I don't want to play this on a higher difficulty. I got a little too close. Is there an actual purpose to what I'm doing there? That was a lot of ammo just unloaded into it. No, I tried to equip it when I noticed that it put the handgun back on me. And it was like, oh, it must be out of power. Right. let's try this again.
Sorry, but my dance card is full.
Both of those lines were terrible. He got here quick. Thanks, Steve. So did they just die? Hey, thanks for the subscription, Zeke. Oh, this is the one that plays over the alternate intro bit, which I feel is probably going to be licensed. So I should probably talk over this, and also maybe turn this down. So that was a game. The weirdest of, like, the 10 years of Resident Evil so far. Were the credits supposed to end early? And now it's time for my final thought.
Looks like we accomplished our mission. Fangling, come with me to America. There's nothing left for you in China.
No, I'm going home. I belong to China.
Tonghua, I'm truly an idiot after all.
You know what it really means?
I've been in your country once.
What was that face?
That was not in your dossier.
Was this Resident Evil or a James Bond thing? what a weird way to do a mid-credits sequence. Oh yeah, we're just gonna fade the credits to black to have this mid-credit sequence and then bring it back? Like, what? Alright, so enlighten me then, Ninja. What's the original credits? That was very much James Bond. Resident Tomorrow Never Evil Dies. Bond movies that end with Bond being in a boat or a raft or whatever and having sex. Doctor No. Technically from Russia with Love, but they're not out in the middle of the ocean. Thunderball does, but they also then get skyhooked out before the credits start. You Only Live Twice. Not Diamonds Are Forever. No. Living Like Dies on a Train. Man with the Golden Gun. They're on a junk ship. What was next? Spy Who Loved Me. Yeah, they are picked up by a submarine, but like they're still in a bubble ship capsule thing, fucking in the middle of the ocean. Moonraker, they have sex in space. What is after Moonraker? Moonraker after that is For Your Eyes Only. I think they end up like jumping into the ocean to have sex. And Octopussy, no. View to a Kill, no, they have sex in a shower. It's like really vanilla by Bond standards. The Living Daylights and License to Kill, both Dalton films, don't end with sex, they end with kissing. Like, not even implied sex, just kissing. GoldenEye is... They start having sex in the middle of the jungle, and then it turns out they're surrounded by camouflage marines. Tomorrow Never Dies, they don't have sex in a boat. They're on, like, wreckage of a boat. And, like, the ships are searching for them, and, like, no, we'll just stay here and have sex. They're just in a building in World Is Not Enough. They're in a house somewhere in Die Another Day. And then the Daniel Craig films don't matter. So there you go. That is how every Bond movie ends with Bond having sex. Post in Discord. Stay Theme is an actual song, and that's what plays over the credits. I'll have to take a look at that. Gun Survivor 4. Rank is B. Yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies. Michelle Yeoh as Wei Lin. Which was one of the times... The Daniel Craig movies are just their own thing. They're not really Bond in the same sense as the old ones were. Far better and very much worse. Casino Royale is a great espionage thriller. Quantum of Solace is a fine enough action movie. Skyfall, again, great espionage thriller that is also just The Dark Knight but with spies. Spectre is boring, and No Time to Die is just like, okay, what can we do to be different? And also the idea of James Bond settling down with a woman, but doesn't really do anything to make it convincing. Yeah. They're not fun, either. But yeah, there was an intention of trying to create a spin-off with Michelle Yeoh as Wei Lin, and she was intended to appear in Die Another Day as the contact Bond has when he goes into the Chinese hotel. But I think there was scheduling conflicts, so like they just ended up casting somebody else for it. And then they tried to do the spin-off thing again with Halle Berry's character Jinx in Die Another Day, but that didn't work because Die Another Day didn't do so well, and Jinx was a terrible character. I got a B rank. So this has certainly been the weirdest game in like the first 10 years of Resident Evil. Die Another Day is terrible, but you know what it isn't? Boring. That's why I'll still say Spectre is the worst Bond movie. Absolutely terrible. Like, Pierce Brosnan is still great as James Bond. Like, there's a good argument for Pierce Brosnan being, like, the best Bond. Because he had, like, the mix of charm and charisma and cold ruthlessness. And, like, Timothy Dalton kind of had that, but as much as I love Timothy Dalton, I think Brosnan was probably more charming. Well, if Timothy Dalton had gotten more Bond movies, like, it probably would have absolutely sold him as, like, the James Bond. Yeah, Pierce Brosnan's great in it. John Cleese as Q, like, actually gets a moment to shine in Die Another Day, and then, like, never again. Don't at me with his performances in the video games. Judi Dench is always great. I think it's the thing. Like, Timothy Dalton was great, but the movies he was in were a product of the time more than anything else. Trying to get away from the silliness of Roger Moore, and The Living Daylights is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's a really good espionage plot. It has John Rhys Davis in it. Um, and like Timothy Dalton could be charming. He could be ruthless. Could really do it. The problem is License to Kill is then entirely a revenge thriller, so there's less room for him to be the charming, suave Bond, and it's mostly about like the violence. I think with Pierce Brosnan had more time to shine is the main thing. Like, Pierce Brosnan was great, don't get me wrong, but I think if Dalton had had more movies to do it, it could be a very close competition between the two. My mood changes because I love a lot of what License to Kill does. I love Robert Davi is Franz Sanchez, like one of the best Bond villains. Just feel like how menacing he is. Um, Anne Bouvier is one of my favorite Bond girls. Kerry Lowell. She's one of the Bond girls that actually hold like every time they try to do a Bond girl who, oh, she's actually not a damsel in distress. She can hold her own with Bond. And 9 times out of 10, it's like, yeah, no, she's a damsel to be rescued. And Pam Bouvier is like closer to being on Bond's level. She rescues him a few times. She's clearly got her own set of skills that she's working with. Really good. I also do like A Living Daylight. The Living Daylight's a lot as well. So it depends on my mood, whether or not I'm into The Living Daylights or License to Kill more. But I think they're both great. I love Dalton as Bond. I just love Timothy Dalton. I think he's a fantastic actor. I love watching Hot Fuzz for many, many reasons, but like always, like right at the top is Timothy Dalton. And I always describe it as like a delightfully sinister performance. Because it is, it's wonderful. I love him in that. Yeah. Mr. Skinner runs the supermarket. Summerfield, which doesn't exist anymore. Hot Fuzz is such a good movie. It's interesting as well seeing Olivia Colman become like much more well recognized internationally. And as somebody who's seen her in a lot of British productions over the years, like previously, and like you go back to Hot Fuzz, and she's the token female of the police force who's always making the dirty innuendos, and she's just absolutely fantastic with it. Bill Bailey in his role as the twins, the two Andys are great. Absolutely love them. Like, it's a fantastic cast. It's a fantastic director. It's fantastic writing. Jim Broadbent as police chief, like absolutely top notch. Jim Broadbent being a villain, it is. It absolutely is. And I don't know if part of me saying that is like Shaun of the Dead was shown to me too much, and I just kind of came to resent it a little bit. But also, the zombie genre has been like really overdone since then, and I'm just not as into zombies anymore. And like I'm really into action comedy. Because one thing Hot Fuzz also does really well is action. It's an action comedy, but the action is top notch. Love Hot Fuzz. Such a good movie. Rory Brenner as Michael. Think for a second, what is his name? It's like it's Michael. Rory Brenner is Michael. And again, like talk about internet like later going on to greater international fame as the Hound in Game of Thrones. It's a great cast, great writing, great directing. Cinematography is fantastic. It's such a good movie. I recommend, if you want to just like geek out over how great Hot Fuzz is, there's a channel on YouTube called Cinema Wins, and it's basically the idea is like being the antithesis of cinema sins with everything wrong with, by doing everything great with, and it's a great channel for positivity, talking about like what's actually really good in these movies, and he has a two-part video on Hot Fuzz, and it's really great. You want to just be just bathe yourself in positivity over how good Hot Fuzz is? Watch that. It's really great. But yeah, 10 years of Resident Evil. Like I said, this is like the weirdest thing we've done for the 10 years of Resident Evil. Probably the weirdest game that came out within those first 10 years. Not the worst. Like I think Gaiden probably is the worst of the games that came out in the first 10 years, and then probably I want to say zero, but truthfully, like it's Survivor 2. Survivor 2 is worse than zero. But part of the problem there is Survivor 2 is supposed to be an arcade experience. If you played it in the arcade, it would probably be a fine 10-15 minute thing doing the arcade. As a console game, they should have absolutely put more into it. And they didn't. So, but next up on the 10 years of Resident Evil, which will be coming back after Star Wars month, will be Resident Evil Outbreak. Outbreak File 1. We'll be going through both Outbreak games in order, like scenario order, from 1 to 2. I'm going to have to like start making a proper thing of like who's going to play what with me. But we are going to be playing that multiplayer. So if you want to play that multiplayer, let me know. I'll make a list of people in the Discord, set everybody up for specific scenarios on specific dates. Because those will probably be like the Sundays when we come back after Star Wars month. So Outbreak File 2, doing those on multiplayer. with like various people. I know Klim's been interested, Ninja's interested, Flame I think is pretty interested. Amber has shown interest if she can get it working. I imagine Teak will be interested. We will be using mics. Communication is very key for Outbreak. So if you don't feel comfortable jumping on mic, I understand. It is going to have to be a requirement just to play the game, unfortunately. You know me, I don't like to exclude anybody for reasons like this. I understand social anxiety and such. But it is going to be necessary for the game. Ninja will not shut up. But it's okay, because we can go around to his house and steal his computer. Just gonna mute, just like, oh yeah, no, Ninja's been just saying Kevin for 5 minutes straight. I'm just gonna mute him in the Discord. Yeah, I think Star showed interest in it. It's like I'll make an announcement for everybody to see closer to the time on the Discord, because it's gonna be like a month away. But like we'll see about getting everybody who is interested to do it. Work out the times, the scenarios. Make the point if you are interested in joining us for it. Play the first scenario of Outbreak File 2. It's the only tutorial the games have, and it's kind of really necessary. I play that. We're playing on them on normal mode. I understand the preferred mode for people playing it online is like very hard mode. We'll be doing it on normal. It'll be like super casual. And then following the Outbreak games will be Resident Evil 4, released in 2005. And after that will be Resident Evil Deadly Silence to wrap up the 10 years of Resident Evil, which will be... It should be both scenarios. We should be doing both scenarios. It's been long enough since I've done RE1 that we could probably do both scenarios. It'll depend how I feel, because it is just RE1 again. It's RE1 with some really nice quality of life improvements, but it is RE1 again. Yeah, that's basically it. Resident Evil, 10 years of Resident Evil. Starting tomorrow, Star Wars Month, which begins in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, we'll officially be in Star Wars Month. Starting tomorrow, we'll be doing Knights of the Old Republic 2, developed by Obsidian Software, released for the original Xbox and PC. We'll be playing it with several mods, the most important of which will be the... Most important of which will be the restored content mod, which I've only played through once. I've only done it on PC once. The restored content mod was not something I think you could get on Xbox, which is how I played it originally. Let me see. Can I get a list of what I'm subscribed to? Because there we go. Because KOTOR 2, when they put it on Steam, they added Steam Workshop support. So modding it is super easy. So let's take a look at the mods that I have. Companions, no dark side corruption, which is nice. Main player character, no dark side corruption. Placement texture for lighting on Malachor. New texture for holocrons in the Tilo Secret Academy. Invisible headgear. Backdrop improvements, which I imagine is just improving the flat image backgrounds when you're out in space and stuff. Animated galaxy map, that'll be nice. Fire and Ice HD. Lightsaber on Paragus, which I might disable. Because that is... You're not supposed to get the lightsaber until you have found the first Jedi Master, which can be 10 hours into the game. Viscus HD reskin. M478 enhancement project. widescreen fix, fixed lightsaber colors, and the restored content mod. Still be doing that. If you remember a few years back when we did KOTOR 1, KOTOR 1 is a good game. My biggest problem with it is that I've done it a lot over the course of my life, and ultimately it's a very vanilla Star Wars story, and I found it kind of, well, not because it's bad, but because I've done it so much. KOTOR 2, on the other hand, I've done less, but is also just a more interesting story. See if we can get the Jedi Academy reference in that. There's a hidden Jedi Academy reference in KOTOR 2. But yeah, I enjoy KOTOR 2, and it should be a lot of fun. For anybody curious, right, I'm going to say right now, we'll be doing the canon playthrough. The Jedi Exile, the player character in KOTOR 2, is canonically a light side female by the name of Mitra Surik. So we'll be playing as a light side female. Probably with the name Mitra Surik. The name in the first KOTOR does not matter, because you're eventually revealed to be Darth Revan. So then everybody just stops calling you by the name you chose and starts calling you Revan. The KOTOR 2, I'll probably just call him Mitra Surik. But yeah, KOTOR 2. Following that, we have other such classics coming up. I had the list here specifically. Star Wars Dark Forces, released in 1995. Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Naboo for the Nintendo 64. Star Wars Jedi Academy, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader for GameCube. Star Wars Battlefront 2, the DICE version, the DICE one. Star Wars Episode 3, and Shadows of the Empire. That is in total 9 games. I feel 9 games is enough. If we finish them, if we finish Shadows of the Empire with enough time left in the month, I can add more on. It's not going to be an issue. There are enough Star Wars games that I can play. And an ending for Episode 3. Both endings for Episode 3. It's like you finish that level and then you get another level. And what am I going to do? Just not play that last level? So yeah, Star Wars month. For the first time in, what was it, 3 years ago, the last one. I hope everybody's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting back into Star Wars. The good Star Wars. The good stuff Star Wars. The Star Wars that made me a Star Wars fan. In particular, like 2 of the games this year, like my first experiences with Star Wars, Dark Forces and Shadows of the Empire. My first experiences with Star Wars and are what made me a Star Wars fan. Look forward to that. And we're not doing any bad games this year. I think the closest to bad will be Shadows of the Empire, which is mostly just because it's aged more than anything else. Not so much that it was bad to begin with. But we're rambling at this point. Yeah, join us tomorrow for Star Wars Knights of the Republic 2, The Sith Lord. There's a bunch of stuff we can say about that, but we'll save it for tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in chat. We had a pretty busy chat today. Klim, Bane, Teak, Ninja, Nelson, Cat, Video Games, Mia. There were other people. Amanda did pop in. Everybody who's in chat, if I haven't mentioned you by name, I apologize. A lot more people than we used to today. But you were very much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us. Star, thank you. Star Shadow Knight. He was here too. Thank you, Bane. We'll be back tomorrow at a particular time. I don't know. I should really give people like more notice of when I'm going to be going live. Because it used to be like, yeah, no, we start at 8 or around 8, and now it's just like, whenever. I throw the announcement in Discord. I should really see about giving people more notice. So I'll see about giving like a half-hour notice tomorrow, maybe an hour notice. We'll see. Just so people can be there. Like without just being like, oh yeah, no, Chrono's gone live with like no notice, but I'm also deep into this plate of tacos. Oh, but yeah, Star Wars month. Going all month, all through the month of May on the mecha-chrono stream. There's not really anything else to say, except thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and take care. We'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.